So one of the biggest parts of the lead follow-up is your email drip plan, right? So I wanted to go over today on what does that template look like? What does that proper email look like? How is it set up so that you can maximize this? Because this will be your backbone to your follow-up. This simple email that you're going to create on a regular basis, and ideally we're looking at once a week email that's being dripped on. It's a bulk email. It's not something from your CRM that's very specific to that one particular client. You are going to use those type of emails periodically, but we're talking about that bulk email that you send out to 100, 200, 1,000 people, everyone in your CRM, every single lead, your past clients, your center influence database, everybody should get an email from you, right? The question becomes, what's it look like? How do you set it up? What's the template? Why are we doing this, right? What's the proper format? So the first thing you need to know is which program do you use to send out this email plan, right? And I can tell you right now, you need to have an ESP, an email service provider. And there's really two that Tom pushes. The first one is MailChimp. Okay, MailChimp would be an ESP that we would recommend. And the second would be BombBomb. The two are awesome at sending out bulk emails and basically avoiding going into junk mail in your contacts, right? They are true ESPs. If you're using Outlook or if you're using Gmail, what tends to happen is they'll go into the junk mail, right? So we want to avoid it. We want to get in front of as many people as possible, right? It's not a guarantee, but it's one of the best services. The next thing we want to look at is what's the plan? Like, what are we trying to do when we send out this information, like when we send out this email? And the idea is for you to become the knowledge broker for them. It's to provide great information that the client's like, hey, I value this. I love this because I want to keep it. You don't want them unsubscribing. How do we get them to unsubscribe? Talk about yourself. Talk about you. That's right. When you start talking about you, right, people are unsubscribing. When you start saying, look at me, I just listed this, or I just sold that, and I just did this, right? People will unsubscribe you. But if I see value in the content that you're sending to me, I'm not going to unsubscribe. I want to dig in, right? And of course, we're dealing with real estate. And for the general public, owning a home, that's the most important asset, the most expensive asset that's, in general, people will own. So their home is tied into their net worth, tied into their lifestyle, and in some cases, even the retirement, if they decide to sell it and downsize. So their home is extremely important to them. And if you can provide value in talking about, hey, proper real estate in general, right? I would look at your email as something extremely valuable because I value my home. Right? So you already have an edge over most people. You have an edge over your insurance broker. You have an edge over your car salesman, right? People look at homes as a great asset. So that being said, what's the value that you want to bring to the table, right? So let me show you what a template should look like with here. Here is an example of a template that I would recommend, or Tom would recommend. You have here a simple email with a great header. And if this makes sense, if this resonates with the consumer, with the person you're sending to, and you give them a little bit of a summary of what we're going to be talking about, it forces them to do what? To click on the link. And why do we want that? Why do we want the client to click on the link? Well, we want them to come back to your website. That's what we want them to do. We want to house the information that you're sending out them on a landing page in your website. Now, this is called a information landing page, also known as your blog, right? You can set up, every website pretty much has a blog, and you can set up a one-page blogger for each email you send out. So now I'm going to come in here and I'm going to read all the information. Now, to be honest with you, right, Tom is catering towards realtors, right? The title is the top 10 listing lead sources every real estate agent should consider. Now, as a realtor, he's catering to me as a realtor. So if this made sense to me, I would click on to the link and the whole thing is here. What also is here is the fact that I can peruse through his website and get more information. He's also put here on the side, and this is real key. What are these called? This one here, this one here, this one here. These are call to action thumbnails, part of this landing page. So if I see that great information, what else do I have on this page? Hey, is coaching ready for me? Do I want to take my business to the next level? And I click on this, it will take me to a landing page. Right, real key here. This is what we call a lead capture landing page, a CTA, right? And he's going to sell me on the idea of me giving up my information, right? So this is real important. The email itself takes me to an information landing page. Then he has some other ideas of selling me maybe things that I may want. Maybe I want this 2022 business plan, right? And here he is selling me on the business plan. Gives me some points. This is what you're going to get. Selling me on the idea that I need to give up my information. That's what we're doing, right? And when we look at this, you can create for your clientele a number of landing pages that sells them on the idea of that they should give up their information. Now, this is key. Even though you're emailing people that you know already, your past client, center influence database, right? We talk about how that is going to be your backbone of your business. If you know 200 people, we know that we should be getting 20 transactions from that group of people, right? But in the plan of action to working your database, right, we're trying to stay on top of them. What are those touch points that you're going to use? A phone call once a quarter isn't going to do it, but an email once a week, right? At some point, if they're interested in doing something, hey, yeah, you know what? I really like to find out what my home is worth. And then they fill that out. What will that tell you? You know, that they're interested. So the email that they're getting on regular, then all of a sudden, Bill and Ingrid, they're interested in doing something that you had no idea. They're in your database and they just filled up the CTA. That's putting you top of mind with them. That's now realizing, oh, I got to connect with Bill and Ingrid because they're interested in something, right? So let's continue. CTAs that we can use in real estate, right? So you create a landing page like this that may say, hey, find out what your home is worth in today's market. May look like this one. Hey, prices are up, free home evaluation, find out what your home is worth in today's market, click here. What do you get? You get a detailed comparables of homes that are for sale in your marketplace, maybe homes that have sold in your marketplace, some map. So I'm selling you on the idea that you need to click here for the evaluation. If that doesn't do it, then I'm going to tell you a little bit about my team. Maybe give you some testimonials. Again, selling you on the idea that you need to click on this, very similar to how Tom does it here. He's selling me on the idea that I need to have a coaching consultation, right? That didn't work. Okay, now he put a video in there. Again, selling me on the idea that you really need this. Then he tells you how it works, and then he has some testimonials. So CTA landing pages, it's all about selling them on the idea that they need this information. It's also known as a funnel system. So some ideas. Here's what we want to work on. We'd like to have 3 to 4 call to action landing pages specifically for sellers. Then we're looking at 3 to 4 call to action landing pages for buyers. So some examples would be for a seller, find out what your home is worth in today's market. That would be one. The second one would be the nosy neighbor one. Hey, would you like to know what your neighbor just sold for? Get a free list of homes that sold in your area, right? Maybe it's a seller's guide that you offer them. Maybe it's the tricks and tips and hacks. It's like, hey, here are the 7 things you need to know on how to maximize the sale of your home, right? So whatever that is, it doesn't matter. You need to sell them on this landing page for the consumer. And then again, the same for buyers. What are ones you can use for buyers? You can have, hey, first-time home buyer's guide, right? You can get a free list of homes for sale in your marketplace, right? Hell, you know what? Maybe get a free list of homes with swimming pools or under a certain price point. Or hey, here are the 3 things you need to know before you buy a home, right? Doesn't matter what it is. We're looking for call to actions. Once you set them up, they're done. You don't have to worry about them anymore. They are set up. There are landing pages, never have to worry about them ever again. Okay. The next thing we're looking at is creating some sort of thumbnail, right? Some sort of thumbnail that it's, would explain what it is that you get. Hey, are you ready to take your listing to the next your business to the next level? Click here. Would you like to get involved with Sphere? Would you like to get a free business plan? Click here. So we're going to create some thumbnails and then repurpose them on your blog page. You can also use these thumbnails in Google My Business as an example, or putting it in your social media and sending it on social media, right? These become really great cards that you can use on social media, right? Now, the next problem that we have when it comes to your email is the content. And this is a really good point. How do you create a weekly content? And I would use your show. That weekly show that you have on YouTube would be a great example. Here's someone like Tom Toole, who every week he gives an insight about something. Like, for example, will the Omicron variant affect real estate? What's the cost of waiting to buy? Is the market shifting? What's happening? So having a show where you're giving your opinion, 5, 6, 10-minute show on YouTube, taking the transcription of that and using that as the email, putting that on your blog, picture of the Omicron variant, say, does it affect real estate? And then you have your transcription of everything you said on the video. That's an easy solution, right, to having content on a regular basis. You could always use, of course, a market update. I'm not a very big fan of that. I think that's a cop-out. I think using that once, you could use it once a month. That's pretty much what you'll be able to do. But I'm more of a fan of what's the value you bring the consumer. If I'm not interested in selling my home, which, be honest with you, be like 90% of the people you're sending this to really have no interest in doing anything right now. It's, you want to be that resource for them within your database, right? So having some value to the call is important. Your opinion is important. So if you're looking at content, just put in your opinion on something, right? What is your opinion for 2022? What's the outlook look in real estate? I value your opinion. I know you, right? So I want to know what's your opinion of the real estate market. I prefer that than just giving out market updates, right? So then the next question becomes once I have my content, I know what I'm going to use. How do I distribute that? Well, again, like I talked about, was using MailChimp. And folks, this is real easy. You set up a template and then you don't have to worry about it. This is created and it's set up. It's done. You create the call to actions that you want to use and they sit in here. Maybe you change this once every 3 months, maybe once every 2 months, you change it, maybe once a month. Doesn't matter. But once it's here, it's done. And all you have to do is just work on the little summary and change the picture. That's it. Once you've created it, it is done. You don't have to worry about it. This is how it would look like. Here's an example. All right. And your admin person would do this. See, and that's the beauty about this. Everything that I'm sharing with you now is something for your admin person. This is what you have to do every week. Send this out. Now, you as a realtor should be creating your own show, and then your admin take over. They'll take this information. They'll go to rev.com and download the transcription. They'll create this beautiful landing page for you. Right? These call to actions are already in play. You don't have to worry about it. So that's all taken care of from your admin people. That's all you have to do. All right. So questions, concerns regarding email templates? No? All right. So if that's the case, please unmute yourselves. Please unmute yourselves. Loud and proud. What day is today?
Money making day, baby.
That's right. It's a money-making day. If you're on this call, it's a money-making day for you. So what do you need to do in your business to help you move the needle? As you know, we're talking about operations this week. I really do appreciate you being on the call. Talk to all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Danny.